A very good morning, Fabio here. Hope you had a good trading day yesterday because we saw some interesting moves and the dollar reacted beautifully to our area of demand. So let's see what today has in store for us. So first of all, the dollar index here on the 4-hour time frame. Obviously, yesterday we went in towards the 1-hour time frame and we saw that the dollar reacted to this beautiful area of demand over here. So this sell before that big buy in towards the highs. Now, going in towards the 4-hour time frame, this is where it gets interesting because at the moment what we're looking for is a follow through further in towards the highs and to see if price is able to start breaking above this high, because then I do see or anticipate that we will move even higher in towards that daily swing high over here at around 104.976, also known as 105, a key level of resistance. So that's what I'm looking for. However, we should keep in mind that if we look at the 1-hour time frame, there is still some room for further downside. Overall, we kind of saw a trend shift over here. So we had a break of structure in towards the downside. So we had a higher high, higher high, higher low, and now we broke with an impulse in towards the downside. So we could see one more push pretty much from this area of supply in towards the downside. Do keep that in mind. Kind of see some corrective price action before then, for example, moving further in towards the highs. So just being a little bit hesitant, but as soon as we're able to break this 4-hour swing high over here, then I do anticipate that the dollar will just continue rally further in towards that 105 level. Quickly going in towards the daily, you can see how beautifully also price tapped in towards this overall sell for the buy over here and grabbed up that demand and has been continuing up higher. So a nice daily close yesterday. So let's see what today brings. I'll be waiting because we also have some big news announcements the day after tomorrow, on Thursday, with unemployment numbers in the United States. Now going in towards our favorite pair, guys, EURUSD. So EURUSD, beauty, an absolute beauty. I'm not going to lie. Overall, if we look over here on the 4-hour time frame, clear buy before that big sell in towards the downside. So that was your area of supply on the daily. For the rest, daily still bearish in towards the downside, with this being your high, this being your low. This a pullback in towards that 618 fib, and then since then moving further in towards the downside with pretty much a very nice overall daily order flow kind of lining up over here with a buy before a sell, buy before a sell, tapping in, tapping in. So let's see if we can continue further in towards the downside. The interesting part comes to the 4-hour time frame. We can clearly see that this overall supply zone pushed price further in towards the downside. Now we have kind of come in towards this minor area of demand over here, this imbalance candle. So let me just line that out for you. This imbalance candle over here, that is now causing some demand to come in towards the market, but we already had a bearish change of character positioned over here on this doji candle. So what I'll be looking for is pretty much just a pullback in towards the highs, in towards here, and then, for example, a further push down. I know there's some fractal structure over here, but this is just consolidation before the next big move. So I'll be keeping my eyes out to see if that supply zone can now push price further in towards the downside. That is kind of my major focus for now. Yesterday there was a beautiful trade, not gonna lie, guys, and I mentioned it also inside the premium Discord, link in the description down below. The overall trade here that there was obviously that we had this change of character over here, then you had a very clear supply forming over here, and then you tap in and move and tank in towards the downside. So a very clean setup overall, which you could have taken from that extreme area of supply over here with your stops above the high, and then easy 1 to 3 risk to reward. So that is pretty much what I've been looking for and I've been trading. For now, just focusing mainly on the 4-hour and waiting to see if we're going to see that pullback further in towards the highs, back in towards this overall buy before the sell, before then continuing our journey further in towards the downside. So this for now is the main focus, trading in between this demand and this supply. Now going onwards in towards AUDUSD, a pair that I also like. What we saw was that we just missed out on my supply zone. I was waiting for that to get hit. So obviously at first we respected this low, hence why we moved further in towards the highs. Now we then broke this overall fractal low on the 4-hour time frame, so this low over here, meaning that the overall fractal structure then flipped bearish. So not a lot of follow through in towards the highs from this area of demand, keeping that in mind. So now we saw that 4-hour structural shift on Aussie dollar. There was a short to be taken shortly after, pretty much from this area of supply. And that is still the supply zone that I'm keeping my eyes open for to see if price will continue its journey further down, because there is a lot of liquidity building up beneath these lows. So I do expect Aussie dollar to head down lower very, very soon. Therefore, I will be looking out for some nice shorts for the rest of today. So keep in mind, there are a lot of fresh areas of supply where we can look for shorts from. We have a supply zone, for example, over here, but we also have a supply zone over here. And we even have an extreme supply zone all the way up above over here. So these are the supply zones that I'm going to be looking for a short from. Now, going in towards GBPUSD. So GBPUSD, absolute beauty as well. This one, very similar to euro dollar, absolute beauty. Pulled in towards this area of supply and reacted beautifully in towards the downside, broke the fractal over here, pulled back in towards supply with the wick on this candle, and since then just continued back downwards. So some nice price action over here, and there was a short yesterday to be taken. Now I'm just going to be looking to see if we can follow through in towards the downside. Both euro dollar and pound dollar, very similar price action at the moment, with also this area of demand kind of like playing up. At the moment, not a very strong area of demand, just keep in mind. Obviously, it just pushed price in towards the supply zone, so I'm not expecting a full-blown reversal from there. But again, also this supply zone didn't really achieve anything. All right, over here, it didn't really achieve anything. It would have been much higher probability if we broke this demand zone and then pulled back in towards that supply zone. So there's a little bit of indecision in the market at the moment, in my opinion. Therefore, I will be a little bit careful with trading these pairs as of now. But for now, I mean, we can clearly see, and as I mentioned in yesterday's video, high, and this is your swing low. Now the internal trend was in towards the highs, and now we flipped that trend. So obviously I'm looking for further downside continuation. And this is just kind of like today's pullback. So let's see, again, similar to Aussie dollar, keep an eye out for these fresh supply zones. A lot of liquidity, for example, above these highs, maybe take that out and then look for that short further downwards. So that's pound dollar. Now going on in towards NZDUSD on the 4-hour time frame, what are we seeing over there? So yeah, we broke through that area of supply over here. Again, as mentioned in yesterday's video, let me just zoom out a little bit for you guys so that you understand what I'm looking at. So overall, on the daily time frame, we're bearish, so I am looking for continuation. At the moment, this is kind of like your daily supply zone, this buy before the sell, in between this low and this high. So looking for us to just continue downwards from that area of supply, obviously with lower time frame entry. As we can see, we've already tapped into it, so we could just start trickling down lower and lower. I'm targeting this area of fresh demand over here, this zone number 1. So I would like to see further downside, but keeping in mind we could still see some further push in towards the highs, maybe in towards this refined area of daily supply. Going in towards the 4-hour real quick, then what you can see is obviously we still have this fresh area of supply over here, for example, which would be a high probability shorting opportunity. Overall, I mean, what happened yesterday is that we just reacted to the overall big massive buy before the sell. I don't really like taking trades from there because obviously it's hard to place a stop loss. I would have preferred a refined supply entry over here. So yeah, sometimes this happens. Going in towards the 15, what are we seeing over there? So yeah, pretty much on the 15-minute time frame, we can now look for some downside continuation. I mean, overall, if we look at the internal trend, let's put it that way, this was your low, this was your high to break. So we broke the high over here, and to be honest, actually, this seems more like your protected low at the moment. So a little bit of indecision here on NZDUSD in my opinion, actually. So I'll just be waiting on NZDUSD for some more clarity. If we move in towards that 4-hour area of supply over here, then I'll be happy to look for shorts or even this higher 4-hour area of supply. Otherwise, just wait for more clear momentum in towards the downside and just trade that overall momentum that we'll see over here. So that is NZDUSD. Now, last of all, gold, of course. So gold here on the 4-hour pushed in towards the highs, pretty much as expected from this area of demand beautifully. So a very nice upward movement here on gold. Moving in towards the 15-minute, because the 4-hour was looking bullish. The 15-minute has now been consolidating sideways, as all pairs pretty much. Very boring price action, not gonna lie. Overall, kind of like this ascending, building a lot of liquidity beneath the lows. So I wouldn't be surprised with kind of like a rapid movement in towards the downside potentially. So keep in mind that that could still happen. So I'm not looking for any long yet. I would only look for long if we grab the liquidity, and then we'll look for that reversal. Otherwise, just let it go for now, in my opinion. Going in towards the 4-hour, you guys can see we broke this high over here, break of structure. So at the moment, this is your swing low, this is your swing high, pulled back in towards, let's say, 618786 fib demand, and then we saw a change of character take place over here by breaking this high. Then what happened is that we came back in towards this demand zone, which broke that high over here, the fractal structure. Boom, boom, boom. Now again, this is your fractal low. So as long as that low holds, we can still look for those longs further upwards. And that is the low, and I'll just highlight it for you over here, of 2167.7. As long as that low holds, I'll still be happy to look for a, excuse me, it is the low over here. It's the low of 2169.39. As long as that low holds, I'm still happy to look for a long. Thanks guys, see you soon.